before the game even kicked off, Pat P, there was some not so good news coming from Minnesota. Sunday morning, we all learned that Harrison the Hitman Smith would be out. Tell us, man, how big of a blow was it for you guys, knowing that you won't have one of your best players on your team not in the lineup defensively?
Well, it's always a big blow when you're missing, one of your leaders, one of your captains, one of your, big play making ability guys, off the field on Sunday. That's always a big blow. But, we have all the confidence in the world in Josh. I thought he came in and did a great job, got his first interception the first meeting against the Detroit Lions. So it's just something that, that we knew going into the game that we was going to have to deal with. I thought the safeties did a great job of communicating, throughout that game. Obviously, we wish it's a couple of plays that we wish we had back early, especially in that first half. But for the most part, his presence was definitely missed on the field because, he's seen so much football. Maybe he's able to put guys in better positions, better checks, or whatever the case may be. But missing him, not having him on the field Sunday was a big blow. But I did think Josh stepped in and did a great job.
So let me ask you this question. Did you guys prepare for Harrison to not be in the lineup, or was he getting reps with the ones leading up to the Lions game?
He was limited. We didn't know, what the final answer was going to be until game day, and obviously we need him for the long haul. Don't want to put him in harm's way by any stretch of imagination. So the coaching staff, medical staff, and himself thought it was best for him to sit this game out, give the duties to Josh, was very comfortable with handing those duties over to him, because like I said, he's a very, very smart, intelligent football player that's always ready when his number is called, but unfortunately we didn't make enough plays Sunday to come out on top.
How has a pretty consistent rotation in the secondary impacted the team? Because it seems like every week there's a different rotation. There's a different, set of guys in the game in the secondary, specifically speaking. And I know playing firsthand, it's hard to gain chemistry when it's never the same starters. But how has that impacted you guys in the back end? Because you've been dealing with so many injuries to key guys.
Well, it's always tough, like you said, trying to build a chemistry when you plugging guys in each and every week. But at the same time, that's the nature of the business. You have to be ready when your number is called. And, we haven't really been able to get into a groove, especially late in the season, thus far, starting around like week 7, week 8, when we first lost Cam, in that stretch, losing Harrison for a game, so not having the guys, that started the season out there can definitely throw a monkey wrench, into things, but we have to keep rolling. We're not the only team that's, suffering injuries. Other teams across the league is, suffering injuries. It's all about how you overcome those injuries and how those guys respond, when their opportunity is called.
Individually speaking, Pat P, you've been the one constant guy in the secondary. You've played the second most snaps of any cornerback in the league, only trailing a rookie, Roger McCary, who we had on the show some time back, 10 years younger than you, by the way. But tell us, how is your body holding up at this point in the season to be so reliable when it comes to snaps, reps, and the et cetera?
Man, honestly, Matt, that's just been my MO throughout my career. My first, 10 years, well, obviously, I think now in 12 years, I think I only missed 10 games, maybe out of 100 and something, 90 games eligible to play or whatever, however many games I was eligible to play. It just, I feel great. To answer the first part of your question, the body feels great. But, it just goes into, the off season, how I take care of my body. And, a lot of it is mental too. How you approach it mentally, you know what I mean? So I think a combination of all of that, just being, smart about, how I'm spending my free time, making sure that I'm not on my feet for, no reason, doing, active recovery, things like that, getting in my chamber, doing, all of my hyper ice, using all of my hyper ice gadgets, so just doing all the things that, doing the boring stuff. I always tell myself, don't get bored with the board, so
I like that.
that's something that's kept me consistently in the lineup. That's something that's kept me healthy, kept me upright and feeling great. So,
and drinking the Sprites.
And the Sprites and my Sprites. So, why, get off path, so it's something that's been good to me, and I'm going to continue to do it as long as the body hold up.
Drinking strawberry Sprites. Who would have thought? That's the key.
Tropical Sprite, man.
Tropical. I'm sorry. Tropical. Who would have thought? And oh, by the way, I didn't get a chance to holler at you about this. Our high school basketball teams faced off about 2 weeks ago.
Well, what happened?
Man, what y'all used to call it, the ET Express. It ain't Express no more.
Yeah, man, they got rid of my coach Randall, man, the greatest Broward kind of coach, basketball coach, 5A, 6A, whatever 8A is right now, ever. This man is on multiple back-to-back championships. I believe I sponsored about 5 championships teams, so hell, we like the Lakers, damn it.
Yeah, well, you weren't the Lakers of old when you guys faced off against the Mustangs because we took care of business, and I'm not surprised because we beat you on the football field and we beat you on the court. So
what y'all doing in the playoffs?
Huh?
What y'all doing in the playoffs? Y'all
we didn't make the playoffs. Oh yeah, y'all were undefeated this year. Football, Ely was.
Yeah, I heard we lost to St. Thomas.
Yeah, y'all had a nice little stick this year.
Yeah, man. I heard a good thing. I heard we got rid of the principal. Thank God.
You wasn't a fan.
We got a new principal. Matter of fact, they said the guy who's the principal now, I cannot remember his name. My boy Ryan Lewis keep me on the update for all my Blanche Ely news. Shout out to Ryan Lewis, defensive coordinator at Alabama State right now.
Yeah, no question. What's happening, Ryan?
Yeah, Lou Dog gonna be a head coach here pretty soon. But shout out to Lou. But yeah, man. I forget his name. I forgot what Ryan told me his name, but he's a grade ahead of me. So he's an 07 class, but now he's the principal there. I got to get his name at Blanche Ely. But we're bringing some of the old roots back, man. That's good, and I'm happy to see the turn with principals.
Yeah, but you owe me some Voss water.
Man, I don't know you know water, man. We ain't even bet on the game. Huh?
That's just a bet. What do you mean? Anytime we go to play Ely,
that was never established. So
what? I would have sent you your tropical Sprite.
Why are you looking like that?
I would have sent you your tropical Sprite if you guys.
No, you wouldn't. I ain't even know nothing about this game. I wouldn't have said if you would have said we won. I would have said, "Oh man, congratulations on another dub with the tie." I wouldn't have expected no Sprite from you.
I don't like that. I think you should give me Voss water.
I mean, if we're gonna do that, we need to make that a standard now. If we're saying every time our team match up, it's a Sprite and Voss bet. We never said that.
Did you ever pay me for Florida State beating you?
Come on, man.
Come on, man. I'm just asking. My bad. I'm sorry. I've been concussed. I'm just.
First of all, I won the last bet, and you sent me my tropical Sprites.
I sent you your cases.
Yes.
I sent you your cases.
So let's not. You only as good as your last battle, my guy. And
that's what they say. You only good as your last fight. Yeah, you're right. Okay, I'm gonna call. I'm as Red said on Friday. I'm gonna tuck my chain in.
Your sugar level seem a little high. A1C, man. Calm down.
Hey, so let's get back to Vikings defense, right? For a good chunk of the season, you guys have been really good at the bend but don't break mentality. But as of late, we've seen some breaks recently. What has contributed to some of those issues, and what needs to be done to fix those issues?
Man, just trying to figure out a way, new routes to get to the quarterback. Like I said last week, teams doing a really, really good job of, trying to neutralize our pass rush, especially when we rely on our pass rush and our coverage to marry with each other, So I think just finding new ways on how to attack the passer, to make the pocket a little bit more cloudier than it has been. And like I said, marrying, that rush and coverage together and being on the same page is the biggest thing. Communicating, making sure that, especially on the back end, guys are on the same page, because we can't have, one guy thinking one thing and the other 3 guys are playing something else.
No question.
That's always a recipe for disaster, So just continuing to harp on the little things, harp on the details, and finding ways to maximize your complete focus for 60 minutes throughout a game.
And talking about focus and playing for 60 minutes, some recent stats in regards to some of the issues that we're seeing from the defense. Vikings are last in yards allowed as a defense. They're 24th in points allowed, 400 plus total yards allowed in 5 straight games. Longest NFL streak this season, 300 plus passing yards allowed in 5 straight games, one shy of matching longest streak in the NFL as well, they're not good streaks to be a part of. You're still winning ball games, but you have to shore up on the little things, as you mentioned. One thing that I'm seeing from afar, big splash plays. And what I call splash plays of 20 yards or longer, that's considered a splash. Seeing that surface, and I think you talked about communicating. That could be a big issue in regards to where we're seeing some splash-like plays in the secondary where guys are not close to the pass catcher in regards to coverage. I know what we used to do in Pittsburgh when we used to have bad games, everybody be ready to jump off the train because they think we sad and everything like that. The week of practice, man, you couldn't hear anything outside of us talking to each other. By playing, curl flat, I got the flats, we're communicating. If I got number 2, I got number 3, everybody would be communicating because we felt like sometimes during ball games, and it's hard to kind of communicate because it's already so loud, but sometimes we felt like we were sitting in the library. It was too quiet.
Right.
Ain't nobody talking. That's another form of getting yourself ready as well. When you're talking, when you already involved verbally, then of course your body will follow that same tone. So just communicate. And the thing was though, Pat P, you guys, the bend but don't break mentality was definitely intact against the Jets because they did some damage in between the 20s, but anytime they got in the red zone, you guys buckled down.
Right.
We didn't see the same red zone defensive efficiency against the Detroit Lions, but one thing about good teams, you guys have found ways to bounce back after showcasing a bad performance. So let's see what you have in store this week against the Colts.